The only scary thing about this book haul is the amount of money that I spent. Hello Bookworms, I'm Becca, and I'm of course doing a book haul because I have acquired quite a lot of books recently, and I realized that I really hadn't been buying that much over the summer and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot. And I'm really hungry, so if you hear my stomach grumbling, that is why. So let's get into it so that I can go eat a cheeseburger. The first book I picked up is Blue Lily Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater. This is book number 3 in the Raven cycle, and this is the book that made me want to start reading the Raven cycle. I just really love the cover, and the title of the book was really pleasing to me. So this is really the book that started it all. And if you don't know, I'm currently working my way through The Dream Thieves, which is book 2. I'm buddy reading it with Notions on Novels, and we are both having just the hardest time getting through The Dream Thieves. And I thought that by picking this one up, it would motivate me a little bit, but so far, not so much. Then a little while ago, I mentioned this next book, but I haven't officially hauled it. Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is one of the books that I think of when I think of like a book that everyone has read and I have not, and it makes me feel like a super loser on booktube. But the truth is, I tried to read it when it first came out and it wasn't really my thing, so I hadn't picked it up since, and now I've been really wanting to pick it up. I wanted the hardcover, but I couldn't afford it at the time, so I ended up getting the paperback, and I'm still trying to fall in love with it because I'm really in love with the hardcover, and that's my story. Then of course I have gotten Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, one of my most anticipated books of the entire year. I already did a spoiler-free review on it and I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I just had a few issues with the plot and some other things, but the overall story was really relatable, almost too much so, and sent me into my own thought spirals and anxiety. But yeah, it is definitely way different than any of John Green's other books in my opinion, and I think that it deserves a fair chance, which it may or may not be getting, but that's for another video. I also decided to pick up Without Merit by Colleen Hoover. This is her newest book. I really don't know what this book is about. I'm going into it completely blind, but I have like almost all of Colleen Hoover's other books except for November 9, which I will not be reading for reasons. And yeah, it's a cover buy. I'll be honest, it's a straight up cover buy for me. I also got Girl Out of Water by Laura Silverman. I actually got this book for free, not this book. I got an e-version on my iPad from NetGalley, which is a book reviewing website and an ARC reviewing website. I got an ARC of it, but I still hadn't had the chance to read it. I'm really bad with my ARCs from NetGalley, but then I saw it at Barnes & Noble and I knew that it was one that I wanted to read, so I decided to support the author and pick it up, and I'm really excited. It's about this girl from California who ends up having to move to Nebraska, and she's like big into surfing, so she's kind of bummed about being in a very landlocked state until she meets a boy that teaches her how to skateboard. So that's really epic. I've never read one about skateboarding, so yeah, really interesting concept. I also picked up Mask of Shadows by Lindsay Miller. Actually, Josh picked this one out for me, and he just needed me to read the description of the book, and I didn't want to because I'm really not into fantasy, but he was very adamant and said that I needed to read it. And as soon as I read it, I discovered it's a fantasy book, with a gender fluid main character. So obviously Josh knows what my reading tastes are, and I'm so happy that he understands my reading preferences. But yeah, I'm super intrigued. It's like about this main character named Sale, and they're auditioning for the Queen's like royal guard type thing and to be an assassin. So it kind of is reminding me of Poison Study a little bit, and I'm really excited to get into it, not only because of the gender fluid main character, but also the story as well. So yeah, even though I don't read a lot of fantasy, this should be really good, and the cover is absolutely stunning. I've been hearing Mel from Books with Wings talk about Wild Beauty for a while. And when I saw it in Barnes & Noble, I decided I would just pick it up and give it a try. It is a Latinx book, and it seems like it's going to be really interesting. It's like about a family, and they have a very tragic legacy that if they fall in love too deeply, their lover disappears, or something like that, or they disappear, their lovers vanish. So can we just talk about this cover? It's got fairies and flowers on it, and it's like raised up a little bit. It's definitely the type of book that I would expect to have deckled edges, so that's a little bummer, but this book is so beautiful. I can barely get over it, and I'm really glad to have it as a part of my collection. A while back ago, Josh also picked out this book for me, The Rattle Bones, that has to do with sirens, like mermaids, and sirens are one of my favorite mythical creatures. So I'm really interested because I've never read a book about mermaids or anything like that. And the cover is really pretty. For some reason, it's making me think of Ireland. I don't know why, but I'm matching the cover today. How about that? Yeah, I'm getting off track, but I'm really excited to read this book because mermaids. And because I'm working my way through Stalking Jack the Ripper, I decided to pick up Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco, book number 2 in this series. And I went to read because I thought they would just be companion novels and not actual sequels, like piggybacking off the story. And when I went to read the inside flap, I was almost spoiled for Stalking Jack the Ripper. So that was terrifying. And if you thought that I was done, you're wrong, because I have a whole bag of books on the floor right next to me, so one moment. I also picked up Dear Martin by Nick Stone. This is also one of my most anticipated books for the entire year, and I requested it off of NetGalley and they never responded, so that was kind of frustrating. Like, they could have at least emailed me and said, nah fam, you ain't getting this book. I was surprised to see how thin it was, but basically this is about a teenage boy named Justice, and the story starts out with him getting arrested for something that he didn't even do, and after that, that was like the first time that he faced actual injustice on him personally in his entire life. So then he starts writing letters to Martin Luther King Jr. to kind of work through this trauma of the injustices that he is now seeing in the world. And apparently something else is going to happen, and the media gets involved, and it's very reminiscent of The Hate U Give. So I am loving it so far. I already started reading it, and I'm marking it all up already. And yeah, it is so freaking good. I'm trying to stay open-minded because it's reading a little young for me right now. And I'm also trying too hard not to compare it to The Hate U Give, because obviously different authors, different stories, they're similar but not the same. So I will definitely be doing a review of this book probably in the next couple weeks because I'm almost done with it, honestly. So I'm probably going to finish this one today and then do a review, which will be up in a couple weeks. Yeah, I'm really liking it. I also decided to pick up All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater. This is her new book, and for some reason when people were saying All the Crooked Saints, I was thinking of, what's it called? Six of Crows by is it Leah Bardugo? Lee Bardugo. And I don't know why the name Maggie Stiefvater was not resonating with me more. I don't know. I guess I needed to see it in the flesh. And it's still got a very occult vibe to it, like with the Raven cycles. So I decided to pick it up because that is content that I am interested in. And the cover is really good too. I'll just set it right there. I also saw this one on the shelf and had to immediately buy it. And it is The Librarian of Auschwitz by Antonio Iturbi. And it was actually translated. Ooh, very interesting. It is based on the true story of Auschwitz prisoner Dita Kraus. The cover is beautiful. I'm really looking forward to diving into this one and then letting you guys know what I think about it, because I read a lot of Holocaust era books. I finally decided to pick up Every Last Word by Tamara Ireland Stone. And I know this is about a teenage girl that has OCD and turns to poetry to kind of help her with those thoughts and feelings. And it was always the poetry aspect that turned me off this book, because I'm not really into poetry. But I enjoyed John Green's book so much that I thought that I would finally give this one a try. I don't know. So if you read Every Last Word, make sure to let me know what you thought about it down below in the comments, so I can kind of prepare myself for getting into it. Okay, the last book I got is called I Captured the Castle, and it's by Dodie Smith. And Dodie Smith is actually the person that wrote the original story of 101 Dalmatians that inspired the cartoon, and she passed away in 1990. I didn't know that. This book is absolutely beautiful, and I thought that it would be very Wizard of Oz-esque just with the coloring of it, but I don't think that it is. And it's really cool because it's hardcover, but this is embossed right into the cover, and I love when books do that. That is like my weakness for books. And this has a new foreword by Jenny Han, which of course is one of my favorite authors. Oh man, this is gonna be awesome. I'm so excited. Okay, you guys, that is it. That is all of the books that I have bought recently. I've spent way too much money and I have zero regrets. So let me know down below in the comments if you have read any of the books that I have recently hauled, or tell me what books you've gotten recently that you are excited about. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to see more bookish videos. That's all I got for you guys today. I will see you next time.